Roger, operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Good morning and welcome to this week's edition of The Mediator with me, your host, Brian West. Here to give you the top 8 headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. Now, as usual, I give you the top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made it first, followed by a movie clip, a skit, a trailer, or something that's going on in the community, or maybe some pictures. And then I'll give you the top 8 international headlines, developing news stories that made it, folks. So let's waste no time. Oh, yeah. Let's get to it. Story number 1. Local war on hunger is being led by a veteran. Carl Nunziato has made local headlines for not only his service to the country, but his position on the Second Harvest Food Bank's board of directors. Now, the article is just a snapshot of Nunziato's life and goes on further to explain his continued commitment to serve the local community, thus getting this story into the top 8. That's why story number 1 made it this week. Story number 2. A new plan for Girard schools. Bob Coupland has a report published September 2nd highlighting progress for Girard schools' strategic plan for the 2025-2026 school year. Now, the report explains how the plan will focus on enhancing learning and other improvements in the district. Now, the plan also focuses on the financial aspect of the district as well. Now, one talking point is that the important plan, the improvement plan, is data driven. That means they're using data to put the pieces where they need to go. Now, the report made it in because it succeeds at updating Girard on future plans driven to improve the district by refurbishing the district well into 2026. So those plans for the people of Girard. That's why story number 2 made it. Story number 3. Belmont Pines in the headlines again. Brandon Cantwell has a report published August 29th, keeping the mental health story in top headlines. Now, it appears that 5 girls were charged with aggravated riot, vandalism, assault, resisting arrest, and obstructing official business. Now, the report goes on to say that the two boys were also charged with assault and vandalism. Now, the entire report explains juvenile chaos that the staff and local authorities had to contain. Now, this story made it in because this is the third report in 1 year at the facility. That's why story number 3 made it. Story number 4. Low morale alert in YPD ranks. Youngstown Police Department. David Skolnick has a report published August 30th stating that a survey shows poor morale in the Youngstown Police Department. Now, the report explains concerns about salaries, lack of support by city council, and little support by the administration was cited in the report as, well, I guess it was being the reason for low morale. So they're saying that these are all the reasons why there's been low morale at the police department, because of salary, lack of support, city council, and support by the administration. Now, the continued negative press when it comes to police departments and their continued goal to serve and protect is what got the story in, because it's getting rough, harder, especially when the good guys are being labeled bad guys. That's why story number 4 made it this week. A lot going on in the police department. Story number 5. Facade grant approved. David Skolnick has a report published September 3rd out of Youngstown in which the IEC is planning to spend $19,964 to improve its 29-space parking lot and add a 12-space parking lot addition. Now, this is word for word in the report. Now, the report says that the grant is for $9,982. 58 businesses received grants from the American Rescue Plan program, if you did not know. That's why story number 5 made it this week. Story number 6. Southern Park Mall is still in top headlines. WFMJ has a report published September 2nd by Alexandra Ross. Now, the report is keeping the attention on Southern Park Mall, which was just purchased by Cohen Retail Investment Group. Now, the report explains that the owner owes $8.7 million in property taxes across the country, which includes a $948,118.84 bill in Boardman. So that means they owe property taxes not only around the country, but in Boardman also. Now, the report mentions every property in which the group owes taxes on, thus getting the story to the top 8. That's why it's number 6, also made it to the top 2 this week. Big. Story number 7 of the top 2 local headlines and developing news stories that made this week. Folks, if you do not get up this early and you just want to see what's going on, you want to get updated on the top 8 headlines, that's what the purpose of this show is for. You can go to the website on the screen and check out the show. I do upload it to our YouTube page on our website on Mondays, usually after 10 o'clock. So if you want to go get up this early and you just want to see what's going on, or you want to get up to date, that's what these top 8 are for. Let's get to this top story. Top 2 stories. Story number 7. 120-unit apartment complex plan in Youngstown. David Skolnick has a report published August 29th explaining how a New Albany company wants to construct a 120-unit apartment complex for low-income residents at the former site of Woodside Receiving Hospital. Now, the report goes on to say that the project would include 5 residential apartment buildings, 31 bedroom apartments, 72 2-bedroom apartments, 18 3-bedroom apartments with an on-site clubhouse. Now, according to the article, the building will take place at 800 East Indianola Avenue. Let's get story number 7, also made to the top this week. Big. Story number 8, and the top local headline and developing news story that made it this week for you to keep you informed. Folks, if you do want to show some support, it does not take much for this independent little production that comes on every Sunday to keep you informed. All you have to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Or you can stop at the store at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio, and see my smiling face. You can buy something in the store. It's top story. Let's get to it. What is going on at local hospitals, folks? The Mediator has a report, has an update published September 3rd out of St. Elizabeth Youngstown Hospital after a 33-year-old man took the gun from a Mercy Health police officer who I guess what the report says is he was doing a routine check of the emergency room and then the man shot himself after taking the gun in an apparent suicide. Folks, the report explains that the entire situation occurred in the emergency room. Now, this report highlights the strain that has been taking place at local hospitals, with St. Elizabeth being one of the last and only local hospital branches left, folks. Let's get into the story to the top 8 because hospitals have been going through hell. I've even read some reports about them even breaking into some Trumbull County hospitals and stealing Oxycodone or Oxycontin. That's how serious these hospital stories are. Well, folks, our top 8 local headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with top 8 international headlines developing news story. Once again, if you do want to show some support, stop at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio, and see my smiling face. Well, folks, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're in the meeting with me, Brian West. I'll be right back.
Tune in and don't forget to subscribe to Method 8 Inc. YouTube channel. You can also watch free public entertainment. And don't forget to show some support by visiting www.method8inc.com by buying something, clicking something, watching something, or just reading something. You can also sponsor a program as well. That's www.method8inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
What does Method8Inc.com Media Center have that I need?
Small prints, event consulting, photography, business consulting, technical consulting, entertainment consulting, fundraising advice, event videography, movies, news, publishing, media, books, entertainment, acting, broadcasting, public relations, access to the visual and performing arts, ink and black ink refills, audio recording, graphic design, theater, minor computer and cell phone repair, and they're located at 5648 Market Street in Boardman, Ohio from 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. every Monday through Friday. The list goes on and on.
Method8Inc.com. Buy stuff, watch stuff, or read stuff.
Oh yeah! And yes, we are chipmunks.
Hey, Penny.
What do you want, Wes?
I thought you might want to meet your new team of agents. I even came with a nice name for them.
What name is that, Wes?
Field Angels.
Field Angels, how cute. I'm warning you, if you screw this up, you'll be in the fields praying to the angels.
Sparks, come on, let him in.
Come on, girls.
I'm not going in there. She doesn't even think she can do it.
Come on, all you have to do is prove her wrong. Now, aren't you girls cute? State your names.
I'm Kylie Smith.
Louder.
My name's Kylie Smith. And I'm Raven Lewis.
How nice. I read the two of your files and I see you girls don't make mistakes. I want to warn you, if you make a mistake around here, one of you can see red. Tell them what the color red means, Wes.
Come on, Penny, don't scare him away. Goodness.
Yeah, Wes, I think you might want to know that, though.
Red is fear. Red is blood. Red is the color you see before you see black or white, if you're an angel.
Okay, lady, I think you get it. Wes, I think I should be going home now, so I'm just...
They're just joking. Girls, we're going to get you in your next assignment. Are we finished here, Penny? Yes, Agent Sparks, but Wes has to stay for his first case for his Field Angels. Oh, hey, Kylie. That your name, right?
Yeah?
I'm not joking about red.
Come on, dude.
Wes, now, I know you thought the girl's first case was going to be easy, like finding out who robbed the candy store or something like that, but I'm sorry to tell you that these young cases are not easy. They found a dead kid in the back of the school over on Erie. Now your angels need to find out who did it, why, and what we can do to prevent these juveniles from doing this again.
So where do you want us to start, Penny?
Because you've been doing this long enough, you should know where to start. You start at the scene of the crime, dummy. Goodness, Wes, you're not a rookie. Take those girls to the crime scene, collect some evidence so I can see what they can do. Now, go. You've been in here for too long. Your cheap cologne is starting to overpower my air fresheners. Uh-oh. And don't forget, Wes, if you screw this up, you're done.
Welcome back, welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that have made this week. Folks, this week we're talking about listening. And, it's amazing how we live in a world now where nobody really wants to listen to anybody complain. And they call it venting, People will call somebody and, you get a phone call. Hey, how's it going? And, the purpose of the phone call is to vent. They're getting their concerns out, what's going on, and you're supposed to listen. And they're just talking, I talk to my dad, and I can't stand the way that he never helps, never does anything around the house. Johnny comes over, he just smokes weed all day, doesn't pay any bills, doesn't do anything, and he expects for me to buy all of his products. I'm tired. Could you come over and rub my feet? I really need it. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, babe. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. People are just calling and just to talk and vent. And when you start giving your side of the story, it goes a little something like this. Like they may ask for advice like, what do you think I should do? How do you think I should feel? Do you think I should pay the bill? It goes a little something like this. Oh, Johnny, what do you think I should do about this sexual holic that keeps coming around the house? Well, Jennifer, sex has been going on for a while. The Egyptians used to have sex, and some people would even have sex parties, but I think you should probably maybe just try to find one partner. I think that would be the best thing but I love Bill too. Well, maybe you should just get one partner. It's safer that way, Jennifer. Johnny, you're always trying to tell me what to do, but you ask me for advice. Click! She just hangs up on you. Folks, I feel bad for the financial advisor. You're trying to give solid advice and nobody listens. You know what I've learned about advice, folks? Is that when all hell is breaking loose, all of our benefits and retirement is gone, there's no more stream of lifelines. finally somebody decides that they want to pay attention, go out to the voting polls, figure out they'll listen, go over and check on that person that tried to give them good advice, but he too is sitting in a room alone saying, nobody will listen to little old Harry. Well, folks, that's our message for this week, is that we live in a world where people are venting, even myself, and I don't think anybody's listening. Nobody cares. Let's waste no time, folks. Let's get to it. Story number 1. Should we be concerned about the COVID reports? Speaking of listening, ABC News has a report stating that COVID cases and hospitalizations are ticking up in the United States. The report goes on to say that in the week ending August 9th, the COVID hospitalizations rate was 1.7 per 100,000, I guess, which is double. 1,000 people, which is double the rate from 2 months ago. And what got the story in is the fact that in the past 2 months, roughly 200 Americans have been dying from COVID every week. If you did not know, folks, this story is still developing. So story number 1 made it this week. Story number 2. What do child care cuts cost? The Washington Post has a report published August 29th explaining that the Education Department has cut off funding for campus-based child care at over a dozen colleges. Wow. Now, the report states that this is an objection to teaching about gender and race. Now, the report lays out who will be affected by the $80 million federal program cuts. So, story number 2 made it this week. Big headline. Story number 3. What about the drug war? Politico has a report published September 2nd. The report explains how the military conducted an airstrike against a suspected drug vessel leaving Venezuela. The report goes on to explain Trump's harsh stance when it comes to using this as a message to the cartel that the president is very serious about keeping the drug war in top headlines, and he's serious about cracking down on drug trafficking, folks. That's what got the story in, folks. This story is still developing because they're carrying out some serious operations to contain the mass amount of drugs that have been coming to the country, if not eliminate. That's why story number 3 made it this week. Story number 4, the cost of living issue. MoneyWise has a report with a headline explaining that the cost for a family of 4 to live comfortably in the United States is up nearly $10,000 in 2025. Now, the report emphasizes that the cost of raising a family in America is more expensive than ever. Now, the report cites everything from grocery store prices, college debt, insurance, and many other factors. The report even homes in on where prices are increasing, thus getting the story into the top 8. That's why story number 4 made it this week. Well, folks, there are top 4 international headlines developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with top 4, so don't you go anywhere. The Mediator, me, Brian West. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made this week. Folks, a lot of people have been complaining, about what people are putting online and the fact that everything is being put online. I mean, social media, people are putting they're ranting about their frustrations on social media. And things are happening where people are posting naked pictures of themselves on social media. We just had something happen locally in Youngstown where there was a hazing incident at a private school, and people are posting it on social media. And I did a function a few weeks ago, and I saw a dad disciplining his kid. I mean, she yanked him up. And, Johnson, you better get right. And he started spanking him. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, if somebody would have posted that on social media, people probably would have went crazy, The saddest part about social media is that when I went to college, they talk about perception and perceiving things. And you could be in a situation to where you would be at the event and you would know what actually happened. But the perception that other people get when they see it, oh, he's abusing his child. Oh, he was doing something. They were hazing. But after you start digging deeper into the story, you'll find out some things. You know, you never know. Your perception is what you see. But if you were there, you'd be like, that's a bad ass kid. Bad. He deserved that ass woman. He deserved it. But being a victim of hazing, you know, I ain't gonna lie, when I was a freshman, they would haze freshmen all the time. You know, clean it up, rookie. You know, they'd look at you and they put their socks and lock you in the locker. This was stuff that people would do. So this stuff is normal. But nowadays you have social media and everybody just gets all uproaried about it and frustrated. Folks, people have been nasty since the beginning of time. At early ages, if you did not know, kings and queens, people used to sacrifice their children, bring them to, or sometimes they would even have part of the sexual content, but they would have orgies and sex parties and with minors and everything. But we live in a new environment now. But back then, that's what they did. And that's what's sad. And people talk about the Catholic Church. These some of the same principles we follow today, the holidays, they were founded off of mysterious things that would jump into the air. Some people say spirits would jump into people and they get holy, holy. Then they start jumping on other people and having sex and blah, 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 blah. And they would create these vibes, these holidays. Folks, people are nasty. Yes, we're nasty. They didn't have social media back then, though, where you could just log on and watch the whole nastiness party. Oh my goodness, this is on channel 37. Whoo, my word. Call up somebody. Let's watch this together and feel the feeling of nastiness. Folks, people have been nasty, but social media has just lit the fire because almost everything online has become nasty. You could be on the World Healthcare site trying to change your healthcare. Next thing you know, you will see an ad saying, do you like Viagra? Do you need it? Oh, sorry, did I say Viagra? Viagra? Do you like Viagra? Do you want to get your rocks off tonight? Subscribe to Viagra. It's going to get your rocks off with your healthcare plan, folks. That's what we're talking about this week. We live in a new world of nasty. Well, not a new world. It's the same world. Nothing is new under the sun, but the internet has just publicized nastiness. Even in space, people are floating around thinking nasty thoughts. Intellectuals. Let's waste no time, folks. Intellectual nastiness. Let's get to it. Story number 5. Job data is in. CNBC has a report stating that job openings and labor turnover the labor turnover report shows around 7.18 million listings in July. The report explains that job openings ticked down in July to levels rarely seen since the COVID pandemic. Now, this is almost word for word in the report. Let's get into the stories to the top 4 this week. It's top 8 because job data is coming in, and right now people are getting a little bit shaky. Hopefully that this roller coaster ride will start swinging upwards. That's why story number 5 made it. Story number 6. Is Trump breaking the law or making a point with force? Global tariffs blocking $2 billion from Harvard, sending in troops to patrol Washington, D.C., and threatening to do the same in Chicago and Louisiana. In each situation, some say Trump's radical stance is necessary, while some say it's unlawful. Now, recent Supreme Court rulings could cause more uproar in Washington when it comes to presidential power, folks. This story is still developing. That's why story number 6 also made it to the top 2 this week. Big B happy. Story number 7 of the top 2 international headlines and developing news stories that made us week. Folks, if you don't get up this early, you do want to check out the show. I do upload to the website on Mondays, usually after 10 o'clock. So if you want to check out the top 4 and get up to date on what's going on, or maybe you missed a week or went on vacation, you want to get up to date and see what's happening around you, this may be the way to do it. Just to get up to date and see what's going on, you can check out the show. Do upload to the website on Monday. Story number 7, the workforce without 1.2 million immigrants. PBS News has a headline stating that 1.2 million immigrants are gone from the U.S. workforce force under Trump. Now, the report was published September 1st by Corey Williams. Now, we got this story in is because immigrants they make up about 20% of the U.S. workforce, according to the report, with 45% of workers in the farming business, some of them in the fishing and forestry. And these are all immigrants that are predominantly in this business doing work. Now, this is according to Pew Senior Research Stephanie Kramer. Now, what future ripple effect this will have on the United States workforce is what got the story, is what has the story trending and what got the story in, because at the moment you're talking about millions of people not on the farm, not in these jobs. That's why story number 7 also made it to the top this week. Big. Story number 8 at the top. International headline and developing news story that made this week for you to keep you informed, folks. If you do want to show some support, it does not take much. All you have to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, order to sponsor a program, or you can stop by the store at 5648 Market Street in Mormon, Ohio, and see my smiling face in the store, and just maybe buy something in the store. We get all kinds of stuff in the store, so if you want to stop by, I'm there. Let's get to the top story. Story number 8, Obamacare is still in top headlines, the Affordable Care Act. Time has a report focusing on Obamacare. Now, the headline states that it's about to get a lot more expensive. Now, the main idea informs the reader that the end of federal subsidies and increased rates from insurers will lead to higher costs. Now, the report says that monthly out-of-pocket costs are set to jump as much as 75% from 2026. Now, this is literally no good news. There's literally no good news in the story when it comes to healthcare costs. Now, the report does cite tariffs as a factor in worker shortages, folks. This story is still developing. The story made it to the top this week. Well, folks, those are our top 8 local and international headlines and developing news stories that made this week. I'll be right back with, jumping away with myself. I hope you got something out of today's program. Lets you know where my head is at, especially after reading the healthcare report. I'll be right. I hope you got something out of today's program. I always get something out of doing the research. As usual, I thank all the news outlets and journalists and people on the front lines. You deserve all the credit. I'm just the mediator, the man in the middle, navigating your news stories just to keep people informed. Folks, if you do want to show some support, it does not take much. All you do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Or you stop by the store at 5648 Market Street in Mormon, Ohio, and see my smiling face. Just got a live gag reel. I'm out of here. Have a good week, everybody. Thank you for tuning to the Mediator this week with me, Brian West. Welcome to September. Peace.
Have no fear, fellow citizens.